In this video clip, I wanted to demonstrate the simplest way how you can originate the development of your own WebApi application for smart instrumentation. So here is an example of the simplified version of the client WebAPI for SPI. So it contains two parts. So the first part of this code is the license token to use the WebAPI, and the second part is the HTTP request that allows you to fetch the data from the SPI database for IDE viewing. So before we go over each row individually in this code, so I would like to go to the Postman. So normally when we demonstrate the WebAPI capabilities, we use the Postman free application that can be downloaded from the internet. Right? Hexagon provides with a set of the HTTP requests for a variety of our applications, for instrumentation, for electrical, so you can find also for PIN-ID. And in this example, I will show you the two requests, okay, to get the token and to fetch the data from the SPI IDE view. So before you can fetch the data or get access to the data in the application, so you need to get the token. So this is the licensing feature, right? So when you post that request, HTTP request, that will connect to the Smart API Manager to obtain the token, and after that you can send the request to the design application in order to fetch or access to the specific data. So in this example, we will post this HTTP request that's supposed to fetch the data from the SPI engineered data editor from the instrument index. So once you send this HTTP request, so that will connect, first of all, that will check the license token, and if it is valid, it will connect to the SPI database and will get the data from the IDE view of the SPI. So that data can be obtained in the different formats, in the text format, HTML format, JSON format. Okay, so let's say in the text format. So now, how to make the same request from your client, from your own client application that you can develop by yourself. So here's the very useful trick. So you can use Postman and to convert those requests into the C# code. So here on the right side of this window, you will find the code. And once you click on it, so system will generate the code for you, right? So it uses the REST client method. It basically provides with the full HTTP string as defined in this collection. Okay, so it gathers all the parameters, and actually you can copy this code and paste it into your C# project, right? So I paste it here. So I made some minor changes here. So when you get the response from the server, the token is obtained in some format that need to be adjusted. Okay, so I use the token. I define here the token that should adjust the format of the obtained token string into the appropriate format. So now let's look at the details of this code. Okay, so the first client is defined with using the REST client method, and it provides, so it defines with the HTTP request that basically can be found in the collection on the Postman, or you can find it in our documentation. So then you define the method to post this request. Okay, this is the post, and you add the parameters as they're defined in the collection of this request, right? So actually here in the Postman, all those parameters, they're defined in the body, right? So they're all here, right? So Postman just converted all those parameters into the C# code. Please note that I used an isolated virtual environment. So using the same parameters as I exposed here would not allow it to connect to my local environment. right? And then you get the response from the server, and you need to format that response into the appropriate format that will be usable when you place the request to read the data from the SPI database. Okay, so you obtain the token. So now in the Postman, if you want to run the HTTP request to obtain the data from the SPI database, so you can do the same, right? So you go to the, basically you focus on that tab of with the current HTTP request, select code, right? And that will copy, that will generate the C# code for you. So you just copy it, right? And paste it into the C# project. So I made the changes here onto the original code. So you see, system provides you with the full string of the token that you don't need to use it in the code, right? So in the first part of our application, we generated that string already and put it into the variable, right? And the rest remains the same. So here we have the client one that actually contains the full HTTP request to fetch the data from the SPI IDE viewer. Okay, so then we define the method type. This is the post method. So we add the headers. So 2 headers are added. So you can find those headers here, right? And you add the parameter. So this is the full parameter that can be defined in the body section of in the Postman. Okay, so then we get the response. Actually, we get the data from the SPI database, from the IDE viewer. So I put the result, I put the content of this IDE viewer into the result variable, and actually I save this result into the SIED result text file. Okay, that will be located in the C drive C# folder. So actually now when I build my application, that will create the executable file because I created the Windows application. So the executable file is saved in that location. So I'll just copy it and try to find it. So I will use that Windows Explorer. Okay. So if I run that application, so it's supposed to create the SID result.txt file where the IDE data from the SI will be saved. Okay, so just double click on this application. So it's pretty simple application, right? So it just runs through the background and it created the text file. So now I can open this text file and will find the result of my HTTP request. Right, so that actually is the same as the result in the Postman when I run this HTTP request to execute the IDE data. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day.